Welcome to English Universe, where you improve your English by listening and repeating. In this lesson, you will hear a story in clear, slow English. Listen carefully and repeat after me to improve your pronunciation, fluency, and understanding. Let's begin. My name is Emily. I am 21 years old. I live in Chicago. I study psychology at a university. I love reading, watching movies, and spending time with my friends. But today, I want to tell you about a conversation that changed my life. It happened last year. I was going through a difficult time. I felt lost. I did not know what I wanted to do with my life. I had doubts about my career. I had problems in my personal life. I felt like I was not good enough. I did not talk about my feelings with anyone. I kept everything inside. I pretended to be happy, but inside I felt confused and sad. One day I went to a coffee shop. It was a small and quiet place. I ordered a coffee and sat near the window. I looked outside. It was a cloudy day. The streets were busy. People were walking fast. Some were talking on the phone. Some were carrying bags. Everyone seemed to have a purpose. But I felt like I had no direction in life. I took a deep breath. I closed my eyes for a moment. Then I heard a voice. "Excuse me, is this seat taken?" I opened my eyes. A woman stood in front of me. She looked kind. She had short gray hair. She wore glasses. She had a warm smile. I shook my head. "No, you can sit here." She smiled and sat down. She placed her cup on the table. She took a sip of her tea. Then she looked at me. "You look deep in thought," she said. I hesitated. Should I tell her? She was a stranger, but something about her made me feel safe. I sighed. "Yes," I said. "I have been thinking a lot." She nodded. "Thinking is good," she said. "But sometimes too much thinking can make us feel stuck." I looked at her. "That's exactly how I feel," I said. "I feel stuck. I don't know what to do with my life. I feel lost." She smiled gently. "That's normal," she said. "Everyone feels lost sometimes. But you are young. You have time to figure things out." I looked down. "What if I never figure it out?" I asked. She took another sip of tea. "Let me tell you a story," she said. "When I was your age, I felt the same way. I wanted to be a writer, but I was afraid. I thought I was not good enough. I doubted myself. I almost gave up. But then one day I met someone who changed my perspective." I leaned forward. "What did they say?" I asked. She smiled. "They told me that life is like a book. Every chapter is different. Some chapters are happy. Some are sad. Some are full of adventure. But every chapter has a purpose. If you skip a chapter, you miss the story. The important thing is to keep turning the pages." I listened carefully. "So, you became a writer?" I asked. She nodded. "Yes," she said. "I followed my passion. It was not easy. There were struggles. There were rejections. But I kept going. And eventually I found my path." I thought about her words. "So, I just need to keep going?" I asked. She nodded. "Yes," she said. "Keep moving forward. Don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to fail. Every experience teaches you something. And one day, everything will make sense. I smiled. That's a beautiful way to look at life, I said. She smiled back. It is, she said. And remember, you are not alone. Everyone has doubts. Everyone has fears. But if you keep going, you will find your way. I took a deep breath. I felt lighter. The weight in my chest started to lift. Thank you, I said. This conversation means a lot to me. She reached for her bag. I'm glad, she said. She stood up. It was nice talking to you. I hope you find your path. I watched her leave. I felt different. I felt hopeful. I looked out the window again. The streets were still busy. People were still walking fast. But this time I did not feel lost. I felt like I was part of the story. I just needed to keep turning the pages. From that day on, I changed my perspective. I stopped being afraid of the future. I stopped doubting myself. I started taking small steps. I tried new things. I met new people. And slowly I began to find my path. That conversation changed me. It reminded me that life is a journey. It is okay to feel lost sometimes. It is okay to have doubts. But as long as we keep moving forward, we will find our way. And now I want to share this lesson with you. If you ever feel lost, remember, your story is not over yet. Keep turning the pages. Keep moving forward. And one day, everything will make sense. Thank you for listening to English Universe. Keep practicing and see you in the next lesson.